like to welcome all of you to another special training session. And of course, today the title of this special training session is called Goals, 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 Part 3. We have done Part 1 and Part 2, and today is basically Part 3. And of course, next month we will be doing the final part 4 of this motivation talk entitled Goals, Goals, Goals. Okay, next month will be the final session. Okay, and of course, today we have a very special speaker who is going to speak to us. I'm sure most of you know who is Mr. KG Lim. And for the benefit of those people who are here for the first time, I would like to give you a brief introduction on who is Mr. Lim. Okay, Mr. KG Lim is actually was born in Batu Pahat, Johor, and he had more than 40 years experience in MLM industry, having served in various levels of management, from sales manager to GM, even to managing director of various MLM company in Malaysia and Indonesia. And of course, currently he is actually the CEO of Ventros. And I've always told people we are very fortunate to have him as our CEO. And of course, his personal interest or passion is actually in human character development, in which he had design and conduct research and training programs in the areas of human character development and value systems. And he had devoted more than 30 years of professional life to being a trainer, speaker, motivator, and consultant to MLM industry. And of course, he is also the founder of Ventros Leadership Institute. Okay, and as I mentioned just now, if you talk about Mr. Lim, he is very well known, not only in Malaysia, but in Indonesia as well. Once again, I always tell people we are very fortunate to have him as our CEO, because all the motivation talk that he had conducted are so valuable, and for Ventros, it is all free. If you want to go outside and really attend his seminar, it will cost you a bomb. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, for the next 1.5 hours, please put everything behind you and really concentrate on this motivation talk. And by not wasting any more time, I would like to invite Mr. Lim to share with you on the topic, Goals, 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 Part 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. As usual, his introduction of me is so chonghe. And today we meet again, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. We meet again on this topic, Goals, 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 but it's Part 3. In Part 1, I introduce you to the science of psycho-cybernetics. In Part 2, I led you into self-identity, knowing more about who we are through the science of psycho-cybernetics. Today in Part 3, we are going along the same trend. Before we set goals, before we go into goal setting, there are certain foundations that we must understand, certain principles and philosophies that will do us good as a foundation before we go on to proper goal setting. You see, a lot of people think that goal setting is so difficult. A lot of people find that goal setting is not practical. But as we go through today's sharing, I believe that your understanding about goal setting, about goals, will take on a new depth, and that when we come to next month, the final part of this series, you will be more ready to set more meaningful goals, achieve more meaningful goals for yourselves. So today in part 3, I will start with this quotation from Benjamin Mays. He said, "It must be borne in mind that the tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. That is not a tragedy of life. The tragedy of life lies in having no goals to reach. Having no goals to reach. And this is a fact that has destroyed the lives of a lot of people who are actually talented, with potentials, with abilities, but not making anything meaningful out of their lives." I like to ask, why? Why is it that having no goals to reach, that is called a tragedy? Why is it? Now, I want to put it as simply as possible. A lot of people with no goals to reach, life takes on a kind of floating like a driftwood on water. No direction. You have no direction in life. When you have no direction, there is not going to be a possibility of seeing a growth in your person, growth in your knowledge, in your attitudes, in your actions, in your habits. There will be no growth. And when there is no growth, what happens? Our life becomes aimless, meaningless, even boring, fed up, got bored. And the worst thing is, when we are caught in a life like this, we end up doing nothing but expecting something to happen. Logically, this will never happen. When we do nothing but expect something to happen. And this is called the tragedy of life. Because we have no goals, no direction to set us towards becoming better. Now, the next quotation I'm using is from Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar has written many books about personal development. And this is what he says. When you get by, what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Now, I want you to pay attention to the last part of this quotation. He says that what you become, that is more important than what you have achieved. Just now, the first one says that people got into a tragedy of life, not because they failed to achieve their goals, but because they have no goals. This one says, when you have goals, achieving it, fine, good, but it's not as important as what becomes of you when you have achieved your goals. Now, I like to add this. Human beings, we call ourselves human beings. The word being means what? It means becoming. So if you are a human being, you are a human becoming. To become something, to become somebody, you are a human becoming. So this suggests that as a human being, we are always in transition. We transit from one point to another, to another, to another, in transition. And it is this transition we are passing through over the years in our life, so that we become somebody at the end of the journey. Besides being in transition, we are in the process. We are in the process of becoming something now, becoming better and better. This should be the journey of life of a human being, because we are human becoming better and better as we transit through life, as we get ourselves through the process of living this life, from young to not so young and to our senior years. The challenge for all of us today, even as you are listening to this short seminar, is this: am I a human being becoming better and better? Or I'm a human being that in the process, transiting over the years in my life, I have become worse and worse. Challenge yourself, ask yourself, have you, this human being, become better and better or worse and worse? Other people may not know, but you would know if you are becoming better or you are becoming worse. But whatever it is, as a human being, we are becoming something, somebody at the end. So today, as you challenge yourself to see where are you right now, I would like to present to you what I call pearls of wisdom. Pearls of wisdom. Pearls are precious, things that especially the ladies, they like to adorn on their fingers, on their necks, pearls, because they are valuable. I call them pearls of wisdom because if you know them, understand them, and put them into use, I can almost guarantee you that you are going to become a better and better person through the area of goals and setting goals. Now I have compiled 10 of these pearls, 10 of these pearls. Most of these pearls that I have compiled are not what you will normally read from the books, but it is what I would call wisdom that came into my life as I delve deeper into my area of work. Andrew just now introduced me as someone who has devoted a large part of his life into character development. In the process of all the years, these 10 pearls became something that challenged me to look into this, to work on this, and to put it into practice. So today, I want to share with you these 10 pearls of wisdom before we enter the final part on goals and goal setting next month. Okay, now you see here the picture of a pearl in an oyster. You know, if you want to get these pearls that are inside the oyster, you must be prepared to dive into cold waters. You must be prepared to dive into cold waters. Sometimes the better quality pearls are as deep as 40 to 50 meters in the waters. And professional pearl divers. You know what? With one single breath, they can dive as deep as that, go down, pick up the oysters, and then dig out the pearls in the oyster. They have to take that risk, endanger their lives before they can reach the oysters. And inside the oysters are the pearls. So I call today, what I want to share with you are the 10 pearls of wisdom on goal setting. Well, the first pearl I share with you is this. You don't set goals based on needs, but on wants. These are two different terms, needs and wants. So when you want to set goals, you set goals based on wants, not based on needs. The difference between needs and wants lies in their definition. A need is something that is necessary for the survival of a person. Survival. So you can't do without it, a need. A want indicates something that a person wishes for or a person desires to possess. That is a want. Now, the characteristic between needs and wants lies here. Needs are essentials for existence. If there is scarcity, scarcity means not enough for your basic needs, such as food, clothing, shelter, then your survival is challenged. So for example, right now, in Malaysia, people are suffering. Why? Because their survival needs, essential needs, are being threatened. Many have lost their jobs, no income. Many have seen the need to raise white flags. Why? Because their essential needs like food, clothing, shelter are being threatened and they need help. So needs are what you need to survive. And when a society is in chaos, like what is in Malaysia now, where people are suffering, going out to the streets as homeless people, so many of them, the stability of the country will be threatened. We cannot escape that. But as far as wants are concerned, wants, they give satisfaction when they are fulfilled. It does not pose a threat to your survival. Even if you did not get what you wanted, your survival is not threatened. You may feel disappointed, you may feel frustrated, but it poses no threat to your survival. That is a want. The connection between needs and want is here. We all start out to fulfill our basic needs. And when those needs are met, then you start to desire, to want this, to want that, want this, want that. You want a better car, you want a better house, you want a better image, wants. So in a logical way, you can see that human needs are those food, clothing, shelter, air, water, and all that, quite limited. But human wants are unlimited. We can want so many things, virtually unlimited. So today, the first pearl on goals and goal setting is this. You set your goals based not on your needs, but on your wants, And as far as talking about our wants, what we want, there are three groups of people. First group are those who know what they want. They know what they want. Second group is they don't know what they want. Third group is they know what they don't want. Now, as you look at these three groups, you will know, your heart will tell you that if you are talking in terms of success and talking about happiness, the most miserable will be the second group of people. They don't know what they want. They drift about in life, just hoping that luck will come, just hoping that something will drop from the sky to change their lives. And they are the miserable people because they don't know what they want. The third group, people who know what they don't want. You might think this is strange, but this is a fact of life. A lot of people, they only have a vague idea what they want. But what they are very clear about is what they don't want. So you can almost predict the outcome for the life of these three groups of people. The first group, those who know what they want, they are the movers and shakers of industry, of society. In other words, they are the leaders and the influencers, because by the very nature that is in them, they know what they want and they go all out. They go out to achieve what they want, and in the process, people get to acknowledge them, people get to respect them, people get to idolize them even. And so they are leaders, they are influencers, movers and shakers. The second group, they don't know what they want. And I think predictably you can tell that these are the followers and the complainers. Why complainers? They go through life complaining. Why is life like that? Why is life unfair? Why is it like this? They go through life complaining about their situation, not knowing that their situation is a result of they not knowing what they want. Now, the third group, those who know what they don't want, this third group are the survivors and the hard workers. Why? Because they work so hard so that what they don't want will not come true. So they are the hard workers and they survive. They survive. So today, as we talk about goal setting and goals, I want to focus on this particular group of people. Those who know what they don't want more than they know what they want. This particular group of people, actually, they are also people with potential, people with capabilities, people with talents, except that somehow they pursue their life through what they don't want. Okay, I will give you some examples. How to know what you want. Okay, one, if you want to know what you want, you must listen to the inner voice in you. The inner voice is prompting to us all the time. But most of us can't even have the confidence to rely on that inner voice speaking to us. You may call that inner voice conscience. You may call the inner voice as God speaking in you, God speaking to you. I'm saying that if you really want to know what you want, rather than to live your life only on what you don't want, you've got to listen to this inner voice that is speaking to you. Most of the time, we allow ourselves, we allow our life to be so crowded with so many voices speaking to us. So much so that we allow the voices outside to be so loud, we cannot hear the inner voice in us anymore. And as we listen to the voices outside, we become influenced by those voices. And so a lot of people end up setting goals not out of what they really want, but setting goals due to the expectation of other people. Living a life not true to ourselves, but due to the expectations of other people. That's why I urge you, listen to your inner voice. Cut off all the unnecessary noises around you. Go into yourself. If you need to pray to your God, ask Him, what is it that He wants for you in your life? Listen to that inner voice. 2, for those of us who tend to live our life pursuing what we don't want to happen, I'm saying that to know what you want, you just convert what you don't want to what you want. I have a few examples here. So for example, if you don't want to be poor, you must convert it to what I want. I want to be financially independent. And so you set a goal to be financially independent. But don't live your life just knowing I don't want to be poor. It's not going to alter anything. The next example, I don't want to be in debt. You convert it to, I want to be debt-free. And then you set goals, how to be free of debts. Next example, I don't want my marriage to fail. You know very well that's what you don't want. But what is it you want? Can we convert it to, I want to commit to my marriage so that my marriage will work. And then set goals to make the marriage work. You see, this area that I have circled in red, this is the area about what you want, and we set goals in relation to this area, what we want. For example, if you are always late for meetings, for even a session like this with us, if you are always late and you don't want to be late, don't just say, I don't want to be late. What you want should be, I want to be punctual. And let's set goals, how to be punctual. Now, pearl number 2 is, you can't be cynical about your goal. I know some of you may not fully understand what is the meaning of cynical. I say here, when you are setting your goal, you must not be cynical. Okay, cynical means you believe and at the same time you doubt. So they cancel off each other and nothing happens. That's called being cynical. Believing yet doubting. For example, some people set goals. You set a goal, I want to be a diamond director. Then a friend comes along and says, huh? Hey, you set a goal to be diamond director. Yeah, I just do it because they always ask me set goals, set goals. So I just follow law. What kind of statement is that? That is not a statement of belief, but that you are just cancelling out whatever you are saying about your goal. So nothing's going to happen to that goal. You see, every day in the evening, between 6 and 8 p.m. You know what I do? I pray. I pray by name. Every Gold Diamond director. I pray for their families, that there will be love, peace, joy in their families. I pray that they will receive a supernatural boost so that they continue to become greater leaders in Ventros. I pray for all the diamond directors. I name them one by one. I pray for them because I believe that by the power of prayer, all of them will receive a special touch, even in this MCO, even in very hard times. People will still come and join them. People will still come and buy their products. People will still come and repeat their products and become testimonies of the products. I believe that. For those who are not diamond directors, but they have from time to time asked me to pray for them to become diamond directors, and mention them one by name, that they will receive the special breakthrough that will put them up at the Diamond Advisory Board. Because I believe that all of you who are serious enough to contact me to pray for you, I believe none of you will be lost. None of you will fall. You cannot be cynical, believing and yet doubting. I just ask of you to start looking at yourself and believe that great things are going to happen. This multiplication of wealth for you will take place faster if only you are less cynical. If only you believe and not doubt. I want to pull in deeper for you. When you are cynical, not able to believe, and you are full of doubt, you become trapped. You become trapped. Trapped. So what happens when a person is trapped? You will become pessimistic. Pessimistic means no matter how good an opportunity is for you, you will always see why it cannot be done. You will always see why it's not for you. You may even say, oh, it's good for that person. It's good for that one, but not for me. You become a pessimist. This is what cynicism will do. It blinds you, tracks you, and you become pessimistic. No pessimist ever becomes successful in their goals, in achieving their goals. What happens when cynicism gives way to doubt? What happens? Your dreams, your hopes, your goals remain unfulfilled. You want this to happen? You are torn apart. You are trapped between yes or no. I join or don't join? I work to be a diamond or not? Go or no go? I commit or not? Commit or give up? You are torn apart, you are trapped, don't know. And so the word here is you are in limbo. You are in limbo. So what happens? You only waste your energy, waste your time. People are in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, even a year, they have become diamond directors. But why are you still not even a ruby? And you are ruby. You are still struggling to become an emerald. When doubt creeps in, you are trapped. You are trapped. And this will set you on a path to become even more cynical, more pessimistic. So the antidote of cynicism is optimism. The medicine to cure the cynicism is optimism. Optimism means to allow yourself to see things through the eyes of why it can be done, why I must give it a go, why I should try it. Optimism. So I just present to you the consequences of optimism in our life. The moment you are optimistic, what happens? You become enthusiastic. Enthusiastic means you get excited. Your energy comes and wants you to do something. That is enthusiasm. When you are optimistic, you are enthusiastic, you stir up creativity. You become creative, meaning you can solve problems, you can think of new ideas, why it can be done, why it can be achieved. And when you combine optimism with enthusiasm, with creativity, you are actually increasing the hopefulness in you. Some time back, a few months ago, I shared with you about in darkness we see the stars. I was talking about hope. And I said, as human beings, we can live so many days without food. We can live so many days without water. We can live so many minutes without air, but we can't live a single minute without hope. We are human beings. We are not the animals in the animal kingdom, because we are created in the image of God. And we are much more special, valuable than the monkeys and the orangutans. Why? Because we have the ability to hope. And when we can hope for better things to come, better days to come, for the pandemic to die down, hopefulness will make us even more optimistic about our future. And so this goes round in a cycle. Optimism will kill off your cynicism. It increases your enthusiasm. It makes you more creative in thinking of solutions, in thinking of ideas. Then it increases your hopefulness. And then you move in that cycle. And when you are in that cycle, it is very hard for you to quit. Problems may come, sure, but we can persist through those problems through optimism, enthusiasm, creativity, and hopefulness. You see, that's how important that we shouldn't be cynical in as far as goal setting is concerned. Now, the third pearl is this. The first thing before you set your goal is to ask, why? Why do I want this goal? Why? do I set this goal for myself? Why? You see, I want to share with you the importance of knowing why. If you can understand this today, you are going to make sure that you have the why before all other things. You must know the why before you proceed to how, to what, to who, to when. The why is actually bringing out, making it very clear what your purpose is. As human beings, the why is very important because it sets the purpose for us. The purpose. What is your purpose in Ventros? If you are not clear, you think that, oh, I'm here to make as much money and get out. I tell you, you cannot last. You can't even last. At the first rejection from your customer, you're going to go away. You will give every excuse and reason. It's not for you. To know why is to set the purpose for what you are going to do, the purpose. When you have purpose, everything becomes clear. There is clarity and there is focus when it is clear. If you know, for example, why you are in Ventros, and you see that your journey into Ventros is to participate, to get involved into a healing ministry. As I said to many of you before, ministry means to be of service. That's called ministry. The Ventros activity should not just be looked upon as a business. It should be looked upon as an opportunity for us to be in ministry, to be in service to ourselves, our loved ones, to people who need healing. The form of healing that we are involved in is healing in terms of health, in terms of body ailments, healing in terms of finances, healing in terms of relationships. That is our healing ministry. And if you can see that, and you are happy with that, you will have a purpose to be in this company. And so when you have that purpose firmly established in yourself, you become very clear that every time you go out to make a presentation of the IM laser, the CVA, the Fortico, and so on, you know that this is a ministry. So that even if people reject you, you don't instantly become downhearted and say, I quit. This is the clarity when you have a purpose. When you have the purpose, you have your clarity, then you are motivated. You won't be able to sit still. Despite this lockdown, you will still do something. You will still contact your people. You will still have a virtual meeting with them. You will still want to talk to them. And that is the motivation. The motivation. Because you know why you are in this. You know the purpose. You are very clear about the ministry. And you are motivated. You are motivated. When a person is motivated, what happens? He becomes passionate. Purpose, focus, motivation stirs up passion. Passion means that you don't care how much time, how much energy that you are going to put in to serve in this ministry. You just go about to do it. Other people will say you are crazy, but this is passion. So when you come into Ventros, you are caught up in this passion to serve. I will tell you, I will guarantee you, you will enjoy this ministry. The enjoyment of the ministry. You won't say, I'm so tired. I'm so fed up with so many rejections. Despite the problems, despite the MCO, despite the rejection, you will still find that this healing ministry is enjoyable. It's enjoyable. When people come to you to thank you, what the I Am Laser has done for them, for their parents, when they come to you and shake your hand and say, thank you for introducing to me the CVA, the Fortico, you will know that this business, I call it the healing ministry, is very enjoyable despite many problems. And so you see, the why brings you to the purpose, clarifies the purpose for you, motivates you, stirs up passion, so you won't be tired. You won't be saying you're wasting your time, and you enjoy the healing ministry. So what happens? At the end of the day, even though you don't become a millionaire, you still get the enjoyment, the satisfaction of being a part of this healing ministry. And finally, the enjoyment and satisfaction is what brings meaning to life. Meaning. Whether you know it or you don't, every human being is becoming somebody, something. It's either for better or for worse. In Ventros, we want everybody at the end of it to discover that certainly, no matter what has happened in their past, life is still meaningful by your contribution to the healing ministry. So you find that the why, knowing the why, can lead you to a very meaningful experience. So when you set your goals, first thing, ask, why? Why? And it will set you on the path of a purposeful living, very clear about what you are doing, motivated in what you are doing, you are passionate, you enjoy it, there's satisfaction from it, and there is meaning. I will tell you, today, you just need to go. You go and ask. Rebecca, you ask. Mr. Sokap Beng, you ask Johnny, you ask Billy Sim, you ask all these people. What has the Ventros healing ministry brought them? For most of them, money will be something that will come last in what they share with you. But they will tell you the enjoyment of it, the satisfaction of it, the meaning they derive from it. And as I say this, I'm really very thankful for one person. When I talk about finding purpose, finding meaning, I think of our brother Billy Sim. This guy, he was so high up in the corporate world, but because of his love for his mother, he was willing to give it up to go back to the small town of Alostar just to take care of his mother. And that is not all to his story. His whole life is a dedication to charity work, to giving, giving and giving and giving. It never stops. If you were to ask him, how has he found his life to be? He will not say, oh, I'm so great, I'm so glad. I have made millions and millions in my lifetime. Well, even though he is that, but he will not tell you that is what he got out of his life. I have been in contact, I have been in close communication with him, and all the time, he encouraged me as much as I encouraged him. What? For what? To continue the ministry to the marginalized people, continue the ministry to the poor, to the orphans, to the homeless. Billy, Brother Billy, if you are attending today's session, once again, I say I salute you. I salute you. Now, there are two principles to remember here. One, the why. Knowing the why must precede what, how, when, who. In goal setting, the what, the how, the when, the who are important. But this must come only after you know the why. Why? The next principle is, listen carefully. Your downlines are not influenced by what you do. I repeat, your downlines are not influenced by what you do, but by why you do it. Why you do it. It is the why that influences them. Why? Because why brings about purpose, clarity, motivation, and down the line. So remember, always set your goals, but know why you set them. The fourth pearl I want to share with you is this. Goals are meant to transform, not conform. These are two words that some people think they are the same, but they are not. When you set goals to transform, not to conform. What do I mean by that? Now, to transform means to bring about a desired positive change. That is a transformation. You know, in nature, the greatest example of transformation is the metamorphosis of a butterfly. Before the butterfly can be so beautiful flying in your garden, he must go through the process of transformation. And it all started with a little egg. Then became a larva. Then went into the chrysalis. And along this process, from egg to larva to the chrysalis, this butterfly is so ugly. So ugly. And in the chrysalis or the cocoon, what is happening there? That larva must struggle. He got to struggle within the confine of the space of the cocoon. He got to struggle. If you say, "Ayo, so pitiful, I cannot bear to see the larva struggling there, so pitiful." You take a scissor, you cut the cocoon to let the larva come out. You know what? The larva will drop to the ground and die. But in the cocoon, it is struggling and struggling. As it struggles, the whole body becomes stronger, the parts are formed, the wings are formed, and at one point in time, when he breaks the cocoon open, he flies as a beautiful butterfly. This is the greatest transformation example in nature. The process has to go through the struggling, making him strong, developing all the parts necessary for him to fly and be a beautiful butterfly. So to transform means to bring about a desired positive change. So when you set goals, that's what your goal must do. It must transform you in the process. If you set a goal just to be rich, you may become rich, but there's no meaning at the end of the road. Conform means to sacrifice your uniqueness in order to be like everyone else. In order to be like everyone else. To be common. You sacrifice your uniqueness. When I talked to you in part 2 about self-identity, I said that everyone are different. Every one of us have our own uniqueness. There are things we can do, not necessarily others can do. There are things others can do, not necessarily we can do. There are things we are good at, not necessarily other people can be good at as well. So why do we want to live our life in conformity, just to please other people, just so that we live up to their expectation? What about your expectation? So when we set goals to transform, not to conform. Leaders and followers. Leaders transform. Followers, they conform. Which one are you? I now refer you to your family. How can you transform your family if you yourself are not transformed? Do you want your family just to be generation of followers that conform to the expectation of the outside world? How about wake up? The fifth pearl about goal setting is this. The key to not giving up your goal is in the enjoyment of the journey. You know, so people say, I have goal, but they give up so quickly. Why? They say very difficult. They say, so many problems. They say are not suitable. Why? You see, it's because unless and until you can enjoy the journey towards the goal, you will have very little chance to stick to it. A little problem is enough to kick you off. I'll give you an example. You get excited. Wow, I want to join Ventros. I want to be like Mr. Sok Kam Beng. I want to be like Johnny Kua. So you get excited. And you also begin to imagine, wow, when I become like Mr. Sok Kam Beng, wow, how nice. I like to be traveling all over the world with him. I want to go with him to give seminars. You begin to see what can happen at the end of the journey. But then, between now and at the end of the journey is something that you have to live with. To get from A to B, you have to travel the journey A to B. So what happens to most people? In that journey, when problems come up, they get stressed out. They become anxious. Cannot, don't know how. So difficult. Impatient. And this is the greatest stumbling block to goal setting. We are impatient. You see, goal setting is just like a farmer who plants a seed, and he has to go through the whole process with patience to see that the seed that he planted months ago is now bearing fruit. Then he can harvest. The patience is most of the time what destroys people and gives them, makes them drop out from their goal setting. Then fear of failure. Each step of the way, say, what if I fail? What if I fail? What will people think of me? And so what happened to the journey? You cannot enjoy the journey. The moment you are not enjoying the journey, you know what will happen? You will find every excuse to get out of the journey. And that's it, no more. So I just want to share with you 3 principles here about this journey. 1, success for all of us in whatever we are doing is a journey. It's a journey. It's not a destination. So if you are not enjoying the journey, chances are you are going to mess up. You're going to find it so tough going. 2, the journey determines the outcome. It is what you do or don't do in the journey that will determine the end result, the journey. So enjoy the journey. The 3rd principle is this. The journey, it is the journey that will mold and shape our character. Just now I talked about impatience. How to be more patient? Well, stick yourself to the journey. And along the way, you learn to be patient. How to be people who can withstand the rejection. Stick to it, the journey. Learn why people reject. Learn how you are going to overcome their rejection. As you do so along the journey, you become so good at handling rejection. You become so thick, your skin. People can reject you 100 times. You get up 101 times. Enjoy the journey. How? Set your goals out of love, not out of fear. If you set your goals out of fear, fear of losing out, yasu, fear like that other people will be better than you, and you set a goal to want to challenge them. This kind of goal you set out of fear. But I say, set your goals out of love. I love my family so much. I want to be able to leave behind a legacy for them. I want to be able to make myself so productive, so useful, so that I can send them all to a good university. These are goals set out of love. When you set your goals out of love, even though there may be tough problems along the journey, you can still enjoy it. When you enjoy it, you have satisfaction. When you have satisfaction, you have meaning. No amount of money you receive can replace the meaning you derive in your life. So I say, love what you do and do what you love. I remember I sent this message to a group of bankers in Indonesia. There were about 50 of them, all senior management bankers. I said, love what you do what you love. It touched the president director of the bank so much that he wrote a personal note to me after that. He says, Pak KG, in all my work life, I have never seen this. I just worked so hard just to reach the pinnacle of my career. If you ask me whether I love banking, I cannot say I love it. But I spent 30 over years and I'm at the top of the whole of the bank. I'm the president director. But today, when you say, love what you do and do what you love, it really touched me. It really kicks into me. And after that, 2 years after that, he asked me, do a contract for all his middle management people, a contract 1 year before he retired. He spent a lot of money to get me to do that 1 year contract for his middle management people. The message was this simple. Love what you do what you love. Now the sixth pearl is this. In the pursuit of your goal, the speed is not as important as the direction. So here there are two terms here. Speed, you want to be fast. Direction, you want to make sure that you are on track. And I say, direction is more important than speed. Direction, more important than the speed. It doesn't matter where you are coming from. That you have failed in every venture before this, it doesn't matter. All that matters is where you are going now and the future. I hope and pray that as I finish today's session, you will give yourself a chance to contact me to pray for you. Most of the people who regularly attend my sessions, they don't take the trouble. They don't even care. I told Andrew just now before we started, I said, why I need the feedback? It's not for you to boost my ego. The feedback is so important for me because when I gather your feedback, I take note of all this feedback, and that's how I make the next session more valuable, more practical for you. Nothing in what I say is theoretical, it's all practical. So, all that matters is where you are going, your direction, not your speed. I've seen with my own eyes in MLM. So many people rush to be successful, quick. Of course, they became successful overnight. But what happened to them? One by one, they have fallen along the roadside. One by one, whatever they achieve is back to zero. They were in such a hurry. And they, wow, from zero to hero. Today, they are from hero to zero. Why? Because if you don't have a clear direction, clear purpose, clarity of what you are doing, you will be in trouble sooner or later. And most of the time, it's sooner than later. The good life is a process. It's a journey, not a state of being. We never arrive at the point and say, this is the good life. The good life is a process. It is continuous. It is ongoing. No matter how old you are, no matter how many failures has come by your way, remember, you still have an opportunity. You still have hope in having a good life. Having a good life. Do you want it? If you really want it, I ask you to see the healing ministry in Ventros for what it is. Each decision should move us closer. Closer to what? To becoming all that God made you to be. To turn your life in the direction of a story you'll be happy to share. Nobody will be happy at the end of his life and tell his younger generation, I was a failure. I did so many things I shouldn't do. I really have so many regrets. Nobody wants to end his life sharing that kind of story. But even if you have nothing much to share, at the end of your life, you can still say, I have had a meaningful life. I have had a meaningful life. People may spend their whole lives climbing the ladder of success, only to find once they reach to the top, the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. What is this telling us? The direction that you set for yourself in your life must in the end bring you to a point where you have enjoyed it, you are satisfied, and you find meaning with it. Well, jewel number 7 is this: to have tried but failed is more meaningful than not having tried at all. I'm saying this because I know there are so many people with potential, with talents, but because they dare not take risks, they dare not try, they never know what they could be. They never knew how much further, how much happier they could be. To have tried but failed is better than not having tried at all. A winner is a loser who tried one more time. A winner is a loser who tried one more time. He has been losing, but he tried again. He lost again, he tried again. He lost again, he tried again. And after so many tries, he became successful. He is a winner. Are you the winner? Are you giving up so easily? You only fail when you stop trying. You only fail when you stop trying. So come on, get up. Get up. Despite the MCO, go contact your friends. Share with them the IM Laser, the CV8, the Fortico. And let's see God work a miracle for you, opening doors for you. I want to share this poem with you. Some say, risk nothing, try only for the sure thing. Others say, nothing gamble, nothing gain. So go all out for your dream. Life can be lived either way, not taking risks or taking all the risks. But for me, I would rather try and fail than never try at all, you see. Some say, don't ever fall in love. Play the game of life wide open. Burn your candle at both ends. But I say, no. It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, my friends. So don't be afraid to try and fail at something. In fact, in Ventros, your chances of failing are very little. The most is you get some rejections from people. The rest is you're going to be met by people who thank you for introducing such good products to them. Don't be afraid to try and fail at something. Be afraid of waking up 5 years from now in the exact same place that you are today. That's what you should be afraid of. Pearl number 8. Our real regrets in life are not over what we did, sorrowful of all the mistakes. Our real regrets in life are really about what we did not do, what we should have done but did not do. You know, one of my personal regrets is that when my mother was alive, I did not go 100% all out to love her. That is one of my regrets because it was what I could have done but did not do. That is a real regret. For most people, our real regrets are not about the mistakes of the past, but about missed opportunities. What we should be doing, should have done but did not do. Regrets of the people who are about to die. You know what? Firstly, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Coming to the end of life, then regretting like that. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. This is not about being lazy. This is about working so hard that we lost our priorities. We lost our sense of priorities. I'm sure when we work so hard, our quality time with our loved ones would have been sacrificed. When we work so hard just to give them an education, you know what? Education doesn't guarantee that our children are going to grow up with good characters, good values. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings, but I was so scared that I would be rejected. I just want to please everybody. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. You know, this thing about the value of friendships, the value of relationships. So easily, we just put them aside, thinking that they will understand because we are so busy. And lastly, I wish I had let myself be happier. Bogged down throughout life, so many problems, so many things to look into, never had time to sit down to check whether I'm really happy with my life. But today, my challenge to you is not to be concerned to be happier. My challenge to you is to be more joyful. Being happy and being joyful, I have explained to some of you before. Being happy is always dependent on the circumstances outside. If the circumstances externally are favorable to me, I am happy. If the circumstances outside are not favorable to me, I'm not happy. But joy is different. Joy is internal. Whatever is right or wrong outside, favorable or unfavorable outside, inside, I can still feel joy. And if you really want to seek this joy, there is no other way. You have to go and seek it from your God. I'm not preaching religion, but I'm saying the true joy is found in God. Now, I put here a slide here. It's from a source, government source, not Malaysia, other country. What people regret the most, and if you see the top 4, is what people regret the most is firstly education. Regret. Some people regret that because they are the eldest in the family, they have to quit after Form 5, get a job so as to help their brother, sister down there. And then they became university graduates, and you live a life regretting that after Form 5, you had to stop and you had to take care of your brothers. The next thing is regret about their career. Spending 30, 40 years in a career, not actually loving that career, but just so that you receive good salary, good perks, and then at the end of it, to find that it was all a waste of your time and talents. Thirdly, it's about relationship, our relationship, regretting that we have let a lot of opportunities go by without us benefiting or capitalizing to build better relationships, especially with those who are nearest to us, closest to us, our loved ones. The fourth one is about parenting. A lot of parents, they regret the way they bring up their children. They regret, how come after lavishing so much money, time, love on their children, and yet none of them came back and showed gratitude at all. So these are the major regrets, A person is not old until her regrets take the place of her dreams. This is not just meant for the females only, for the men it's the same. We are not old, no matter what our age, only until our regrets overtake our dreams. The defining aspects of regret. When we have regrets, how do we deal with it? Some people, you deal in it in denial. We might try to deny the fact that we missed that major opportunity in life. And we say, no, but we still regret. It's a way to make the feeling go away. By denying, it's like trying to make the feeling go away. But it's a very immature approach to dealing with your regrets. We don't try to solve the problem. We just want it to go away. This is an immature way to deal with your regrets. There may be a sense of bewilderment. Bewilderment here means shock. How can this happen? That's called bewilderment. When we have a sense of bewilderment, we may say, how could I have missed that opportunity? How? What was I thinking at that time to make that kind of decision? And so I got scammed. We try to alienate. Alienate means to take ourselves off, make ourselves distance from what happened. And we question ourselves. Why had this happened? How could it have happened to me? And we try to separate ourselves from that part that is taking the blame. We should be taking the blame, but we try to separate it from the regret. By distancing ourselves, we make the following become easier. We have an intense desire to punish ourselves. Ruminating means going over again and again and again. It's like what we say, lo so, over the previous aspects, over and over again. So these are the ways people deal with their regrets, but these are not the positive ways to deal with regrets. As far as missed opportunities, no one is perfect. We all have missed opportunities in our life. But what did the first saying goes? Remember, it is not what we have achieved, but what we have become of our life in terms of the goals. Missed opportunities happened. I wanted to, but I got distracted. I should have, but I did not. I could have, but I procrastinated. I planned to, but I didn't follow up. You see, because of this, we have missed opportunities one after another in life. We have missed opportunities, and so we regret. So there are so many regrets. And now we come to the ninth jewel. You don't climb a mountain to be fit. You have to be fit to climb a mountain. What is the wisdom here? In setting your goals, you have to do a lot of preparation. To go on a journey to achieve your goal is like a climber going to climb a mountain. Before that, you have to be prepared. You may have to take lessons how to climb a mountain. You have to learn new skills. So excellence without effort is as futile, is useless, as progress without preparation. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Abraham Lincoln. Meaning what? The 4 hours sharpen the axe is prepare so that when you first hit the tree, cut the tree, it cuts so sharp that it actually lessens your effort. Preparation. Adversity is preparation for greatness. All the problems that come in the journey before you reach your goal is to prepare you for greatness. So what's the motto of the Boy Scout? Were you a Boy Scout before? I was. Be prepared. Be prepared. Being prepared enhances self-discipline. When you are prepared, you are more disciplined to keep up with what you need to do. When you are prepared, it increases your flexibility, meaning to say, when you are prepared, you have plan A. Plan A doesn't work, you have plan B. Plan B doesn't work, you have plan C. It increases our flexibility. When you are prepared, it develops resilience. Resilience is coming back strong even though you are beset with problems. That is called resilience. Last jewel for you today is this. You won't reach your destination based on your excuses. You know, some time back I talked about excusology. If you are a practitioner of excusology, you are called what? You are an excusologist. You won't reach your destination based on your excuses. Enough is enough. Success occurs when your dreams get bigger than your excuses. You can have results or you can have excuses, but you cannot have both. You either choose to have results or you choose to go the way of offering excuses for your failure. You can't have both. Now, lastly, I say to you, live with no excuses. Love with no regrets. Serve with joy. Because our Ventros philosophy is to live is to love and to serve. Live with no excuses. Love with no regrets. Serve with joy. My next seminar, this will be the last part of this series, Goals. It will be 25th of August, VOOV, 3 o'clock, same time. I would like to hear from you. Please send me your feedback via WhatsApp latest by today. I extend it a little bit more for you, 11:59 tonight. If you can't write Mandarin, can't write English, you send Mandarin. I will get Andrew to translate for me. If you can't write Mandarin, can't write English, you can write in Bahasa Malaysia. If you can't write anything, you can call me and tell me. But don't be silent. If you choose to be silent, it will give me the impression that you are not taking this series of training seriously. I just hope today will be a turning point for everyone who is attending this short seminar today. You know, I want to share this with you. 2 days ago, around 2:30 in the afternoon, I received a call. And when I look at the number, I don't know who this caller is, but I took the call anyway. And when the other guy on the other side of the line said, "Is this KG Lim?" I said, "Yes." "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Sure." Then he introduced himself. And he said, "I'm so-and-so from Penang. You know, I tried so hard, struggling whether I should call you or not. Then today I plucked the courage to call you. In my mind, I never expect you to take the call because you are CEO of a company. Why would the CEO want to listen to nobody like him?" So I said, "Don't think like that. What is it you call?" You know what he told me? "Mr. Lim, you don't know me, but somebody sent a video recording of one of your training sessions to my wife. My wife did nothing to that, but I took it from her. I sat down to listen. And as I sat down to listen, to my surprise, I was listening to you until the very end. When your slide says, 'If you like me to pray for you, please call.' He said, 'I'm a retired corporate man,' and so happened he's same age as me. 'I'm a retired corporate man. I retired well from corporate life, but I have never heard. I never heard something like this.' I was so touched that I said, 'I have to contact you.' I never heard in a corporate training the way you talk about life like this. I just had to contact you." By the way, he's from Penang. So I was wondering, an outsider just needed one session to be touched, to benefit from a short session like this. How about Ventros leaders? How about Ventros members who probably have been following my series of training month after month? You know, at the end of every of my sessions, when I ask for feedback, the most I've ever received is 16, never more. And I can also predict who will be the first 5 people. They will always be Mr. Soka Beng, Johnny Kwa, Rebecca, and then followed by Linda Go. How about the rest? I'm expressing this to you, not because I'm angry with you, but I'm disappointed that you don't take the trouble. You don't take the trouble to send the feedback. Some say, I didn't, I just need the recording. Even if you depend on the recording, can you not also send me a feedback after you have listened to the recording? But this is me. Even if only one, but it won't be one, I know. It will at least be 3, my 3 Gold Diamond directors who will send me the feedback. Even if there are just 3, this series will still continue with or without you. If you need prayer for a breakthrough, please contact me. As I said earlier, every day, between 6 and 8 o'clock, I spend my time praying by name, each and every name. I will pray for you. So remember, the next part 4 is coming next month, 25th. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you and have a good week. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Lim. Once again, please congratulate Mr. Lim and thank you for all his motivation talk. Remember, do send us your feedback because your feedback do matters to us, because through your feedbacks, we can design our trainings and so on and so forth, and we can know whether this particular training have touched you or not. So do provide your feedbacks through WhatsApp or even SMS to Mr. Lim. And once again, thank you so much for you attending this training. I hope that through this training, you have learned a lot of things. And of course, just a gentle reminder to all of you again, Schools part 4, the last part will be held on 25th of August, okay? And of course, during this pandemic time, once again, we thank you for your attending. And once again, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay active as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.
Thanks.